So we have this equation, 7x minus y is greater than or equal to 4. Because it has this part of an equal sign, we know that the line will be a solid line. We don't know which way it's going to tilt yet, but it'll just be a solid line. And we need to find some points to put on the graph. So I've started over here. I said, what if x is 0? So I put 0 in for x, and I started working the problem out. And I got down here to negative y is greater than or equal to 4, so I divide both sides by -1. Technically, you're supposed to flip the inequality symbol at that point, but it won't change our answer here. So y is less than or equal to -4. So that's what we put here, -4. Then what if y is 0, we end up getting a fraction. See, I'll show you. If y is 0, we get 7x minus 0 greater than or equal to 4. So 7x is greater than or equal to 4. Divide both sides by 7. Well, 4/7 is not something we're going to be able to put on the graph because they don't give us something with fractions. So we're going to choose a different number. I tend to try, like for x, I might put whatever the number is that's the coefficient on the y, or for the y, I'll use the coefficient on the x. Let's do this. Let's put a 1 in for y, or for x, excuse me, put 1 in for x and try that. So that would say 7 times 1 minus y greater than or equal to 4. So this becomes 7 minus y. So then we're going to subtract 7 from both sides, which gives us -3. And then divide both sides by -1, which gives us +3. So when x is a 1, y is a 3. There were lots of other things we could have done, but at least now we have two sets, a 0, -4, 1, and 3. So let's come over here. 0 on the x, -4 on the y. Right here's the spot of the first location. Then the other one was 1 and 3. So go over to 1 and then up 3 and then put your dot right there. So now we know that this is a line that goes, like mine's kind of curvy because I'm drawing it by hand, but you get the drift, okay? So now, because this has this arrow in it, every single time we have any form of an arrow, so if it's less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, we have to shade something. We have to shade one side of the line. And to figure out which side to shade, we're going to plug in a test point from the graph. Okay, and it doesn't have to work. We just have to find out, does that point tell the truth or is it false? If it tells us the truth, then where that point is the side where we're going to shade it. If it gives us a false statement, if it didn't work, then we know it's not that side that you shade. It's going to be the other side. So sometimes the easiest point to choose is where this spot right here, because we don't want to choose something that the line touches. So if the line is not going through the center, we can plug in that spot of 0 and 0. But it wouldn't matter. I mean, I could plug in this spot over here that's at 4 on the x, 0 on the y. Or I could plug in this spot over here, or this one here, or one over here. It doesn't matter as long as it's not touching the line. And so what you do, pick the spot that you want to use, use the equation that you started with from the very beginning, and plug in those numbers for the x and the y. So I'd say, okay, 7 times 0, oops, that's a y there, minus 0 is greater than or equal to 4. Now do the math. 7 times 0 is 0, minus 0, so this side is equal to 0. We have this greater than or equal to 4, and the question is this true? Well, no, 0 is never, ever bigger than 4, nor is it equal to 4, ever. The only thing equal to 4 is 4. The only thing bigger than 4 is like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But 0 is not. So this is a false statement. And what that means is this spot where we found the 0, 0 that we tested, this didn't work. So we're not going to shade this side. We don't even have to find what does work. We found that this doesn't work, so we know it must be the other side of the line that gets shaded. We don't have to find something that does work, but I will show you. Since this spot right here is on this side of the line, if we had chosen this instead and plugged it into the equation, the 7x minus y greater than or equal to 4, if we had plugged in 4 for x and 0 for y, watch what would happen. So we have 7 times 4 is 28. 28 minus 0 is still 28. Sorry, my paper's getting away from me. Is that bigger than or equal to 4? Yep, that's true. So since this dot is on this side of the line and it caused a true statement, then yes, that's the side that we needed to shade. So you pick a spot, you plug it back into the equation. If it gives you a truthful statement, then where that spot was is the side of the graph that gets shaded. If it's a false statement, then it's not that side, it's the other side.